Good afternoon, everybody. We are excited to have you here, but we just wanted to take 10 to 15 minutes here and spend a little bit of time walking through our baseball product offerings for 2025. As we do that, I'd like to introduce, this is Mason Foxvog. He is our chief architect for the Headset app, and he's going to be walking us through the Headset app. With that, I'll give it to you, Mason.
All right. Thank you, Nick. So everybody should see an emulated Android device on the screen. So I'm going to walk through the steps of setting up a team, inviting your staff, and using the Headset app for audio communication as well as pitch calling. This demo is going to be quick. It's going to explore all the features of the Headset app, but as you'll see, it won't take too long at all. We designed this tool with coaches in mind, and with everything there is to deal with in your job as a coach, the last thing we want to do is add complexity to your job. So all of our features, all of our features we're adding on continuously come from coach feedback. So we're always here to welcome that. All right, so let's go to the app. So on the screen here, we have a team owner. This would be the head coach, equipment manager, athletic director, whoever needs to manage access to the team. This is also the account that will manage the subscription. Team owners have access to all of the team management features, such as invite, customized channels, and a few other things. We'll go over those shortly here. So this is the home screen. We're going to skip over the registering part. It's very basic. Register with your email address and a password, verify your email, and then you're going to see something very similar to what you see on the screen here. So these are all different voice channels you can join. So I'm going to go ahead and click Catcher here. And you'll see it takes a few seconds to connect. But once I'm in, I can switch channels instantly. From here, you can mute, unmute. We have push to talk enabled on my screen here, so you can see how that works. I can talk to all channels at once. Oops. And I can also see who's connected to any channel. So you'll see Nick is also in the Catcher channel, along with myself, and I'm currently muted. All right. So the nice thing about all these features on the home screen is these are all available on Apple or Android watches. You can join channels, you can mute, you can unmute, and you can broadcast all channels on both platforms. So that is available. And we'll come back to smartwatch features in a little bit when we cover pitch calling as well. Okay, so next we're going to go to the team management screen. This is going to be where you manage who's on your roster, who's on your team, who can join channels. So you'll see we have a pending invites section down below and a member section up top. If I want to add somebody, I just click add, and then I can type their email address, tap invite. After a few seconds, that'll send them an invite email, and they will show up in your pending invites. To revoke that, you can just hit the trash can here, and that will be deleted. All right, so we're going to take a look at what you can do with members on your team. There's a few features here. So I am the owner here, so I won't be able to modify myself too much, but Nick is here. I'm going to set him as listen only, and that will disable his microphone, enforcing one-way communication. So if you have catchers, anybody who you just want to listen on the channel to the audio conversation, just set them as listen only, and they're good to go. They can't speak back, but they can hear everything in the channel. Alrighty, so let's get to the good stuff here. We're going to jump over to pitch calling. Now, this screen's going to look a little wonky. This is in beta currently. As Nick mentioned, we're looking for a January 1st, 2025 release, but these features are all currently in beta, and this is an emulated screen. So just keep those things in mind as we go through, but the functionality is all here. So the first thing you need to do is make sure you are a baseball or softball team type, and that is set when you create a team. You can also change that in the settings at any time. And if you tap the pitch calling icon here, you'll be right at this pitch calling screen. Okay, so from here, you're able to select one of 6 preset pitches, or you can modify them by long pressing them. So instead of changeup, let's just say fastball again. And I can customize those pitches to whatever I want them to be. So I can select a pitch, and I can send that to the channel. I can select a pitch and a zone and send that to the channel. These zones outside of the batter's box are also customizable. So you can really make this work for your team and your coaching style. So instead of in here, we're going to type inside. Out, we're going to type outside. And as you can see, if I call a fastball up and inside, that will show up fastball up and inside. Now, there's a couple ways that your catcher can get these pitches. The first way is obviously just using the audio channels that we went over. That's how pitch calling was done last season in the headset app. There are 2 settings for the catcher to toggle on. They can either get text-to-speech messages in their earbud, or they can get smartwatch notifications, and it will vibrate, and the pitch and zone will pop up on their watch, and they can get the pitch that way. So we'll cover those. I'll point those out when we get to the settings portion. But that is what the catcher will need to do to actually receive the pitches. And as you can see, we have the push to talk. You can talk to your audio channel from the pitch call screen. If you're not on push to talk and just mute and unmute, the mute and unmute button will be there instead. All right. So that's really it for pitch calling. We're going to go to, I should mention, we do have more features for this coming. It is early in development. We're going to be rolling it out shortly and quickly following up with other requests that come in. All right, so we're going to tackle settings here. The first thing I want to touch on is the team type. This is where you select baseball/softball to get the pitch calling screen. Next, you can customize channels. You can have up to 6 channels, and you can name them whatever you want. They can be just text, or they can have emojis if you please. We can rename these to anything. So I'm going to set that to Mason's channel. A new feature we also have is access, member access. So I can go into this channel and say I'm able to join the channel. I'm going to click save. You'll see this is a private channel with 2 members. And if I were to go back on somebody else's device under their account, they wouldn't be able to see Mason's channel unless they are Mason or Nick, the 2 members we set up. So there's a little customization there, a little trick you can use to set up access restrictions on various channels. We also have voice isolation. This is enabled by default, but this will isolate your voice from all the background noise. So if you're in an area with crowds, whistles, any kind of background noise, just hustle bustle, you can turn that on and your voice will come through, but nothing else. Next is the push to talk setting. We've kind of talked about that a little bit, but this is where you can go from push to talk to toggle mute. So like that. And here in the pitch calling section is where the catcher determines which notifications they receive. So they can receive as text-to-speech, which is this first option, and then I'll just read the pitch in a text-to-speech voice over their earbud. And next is the smartwatch toggle here. So if they toggle this on, they'll get the pitch and zone as a notification on their smartwatch. All right, I think that is it for the demo. I'm going to pass it back to Nick. I think we have some resources we'd like to share with you.
Awesome. Thanks, Mason. Different options. Think of it as an all-in-one solution to coach, to catcher, pitch calling, one-way pitch calling. As Mason said, you have the ability to speak directly to them. You have the ability to send them audio notifications, and then you also have the ability to send them smartwatch pitch calls to their smart device. We're really excited about these features. If you have questions along the way, feel free to reach out to us. We also have a lot of information and some more details on our websites at theheadsetapp.com/baseball. If you are curious about any sort of regulations or compliance issues, please feel free to dig through again on our website as well. I'll be happy to detail as much as we can about some of the broader compliance regulations that exist out there today, including the NFHS. Feel free to click through that. Other than that, I think that concludes our quick demo. Again, thank you, Mason, for the walkthrough, and we look forward to you reaching out to us, and we'll talk again soon. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.